Got to do a tweet, so we'll do these intros really quick, then I'll leave it to you, Zombie Rebel. I'll get that done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the JORD Invitational Day number 1. It's a brand new series, but also a brand new group, as we're hopping into the North American kids at this point. Although most of them are probably adults and men. I'll still say kids because it makes me sound cooler. In the top left corner of the map, he's fighting for no one other than himself. Ladies and gentlemen, the orange Protoss desRow.
In the bottom right, the red Terran, it's Roots Iaguz.
So I guess the sort of throw-to question while I tweet is, who do you think is going to take this?
Iaguz. Yeah, it's it's also my reason, apparently. Iaguz because Iaguz.
Well played. Well wordsmith, madam.
I know, I'm so good at this. I was just thinking, like, Iaguz is in Australia, I guess. There's at a root house?
I believe he's at the root house. Because, didn't he have to travel for his WCS matches?
That's what I thought. So it's only, like, 12. So I don't know if it's late, like, it really had a late night or what, but it was like, you ready? I was like, yeah, all right. So I asked him if it was, like, it didn't sound very confident, are you sure? And apparently he wants to take a nap real bad. So I don't know what they were doing last night, but apparently he's still tired. I
know for a fact that Katz has a horrible sleep schedule, and he probably, being Katz, is a little bit loud and doesn't let the other guy sleep so peacefully. I don't know what the root house looks like or where the bedrooms are.
I thought they had like a basement, honestly, from the way the one or two screenshots of their playing area.
That's like their casting suite, actually, is in the basement area. All their stuff, I believe, is up top. But again, I'm speaking out of my ass for this, as I've never been there or seen it.
All right, makes sense then. Yeah, just that I know desRow is like steadily getting better, but I guess it's like leaps and bounds each time. But
sorry, I just realized why the camera was being dumb. I forgot I was playing this dead game, and sorry guys, looks like I had player controls on, so the camera's slipping all over the place.
But yeah, I guess it's just been like, you know, he came out of seemingly nowhere months ago, and then he's just always been like, ever since then, he's now a presence in the scene and WCS and all that. Where desRow is, you know, he does a lot of things to be present in the scene, but one of them is not making it to WCS, unfortunately.
Well, it's interesting for that because, like, I guess it's always been on my radar. I know I personally cast more C events than most people back in the day, you know, when Masters Cup was going on and all that. And, you know, Iaguz and Rossi were, like, the top 2 C guys when it came to Terran. They were always fun to watch. They always had really good games. Of course, Rossi kind of dropped out really early and then left Iaguz, who, honestly, I did not expect to, A, leave Australia in the first place and go to the Root Gaming House and all that, but B, perform as well as he has over the seasons of WCS. Like, he is truly a terrifying player to play against. And I think what I like best about him is he really... There is no bullshit with Iaguz, right? Like, whether you're reading his Twitter feed or whether he's talking about the game. I mean, I wish he'd stream more, but, like, Iaguz is always, like, direct and to the point.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, the best thing about him is his Twitter feed, obviously.
Yeah, he's based Iaguz.
You know, he can't smell. That's what I learned from tweeting.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I was talking about, you know, what's the difference between, like, perfume and body mist. Is one just, like, more classy than the other? And he said something about, like, he can't smell. Like, it's like asking, it's like telling a blind guy he's ugly. I actually know a girl in real life who also can't smell, and I thought it was, like, fake for a while, right? So, you know, being that guy, I'd always, like, I'd try and sneak, like, a fart around and see if she'd, like, you know, kind of wince at it and be like, you're faking. But after for about a year, I realized, no, there are people who can't smell in the world. And you a year?
Yeah, you're farts, Zombie Grove. No, I wasn't, like, I just feel like once in a while you try and trip up, like, oh, you put coffee nearby, or you leave
I know exactly what that's
the lid off the garbage can, things like that.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
It's like with colorblind people. It's like, oh, so can you tell what this color is? They're just like, I'm so sick of your shit. Can you just not? Like,
I don't think I've done that since I was like 5 years old. I haven't met a person who's like colorblind or can't smell or not even a blind person.
One of my best friends is colorblind, and I give him crap all the time because he's got money. So I'm like, you should just buy those glasses that they came out with recently that like let colorblind people see color or whatever.
Yeah.
But he won't do it. But sorry, getting back a point, a little bit ADD here. First, a shout out to Shandeth, recently just resubbed for 8 months. She also got that poster of Stand by Flash a little while ago. But desRow, you were saying he's been getting steadily better, and this is a point I can definitely agree on. What I like, and I don't know if this is a consequence of his casting or not, he's really started to pick up or at least accept some of his weaknesses. Like, we used to jive and poke and tease him about, like, not being aggressive, and then he started actually getting a little bit more aggressive in his play styles, and he knows that it's, like, one of the areas to work on for him, rather than just saying, nope, I'm the best, everyone can fuck right off. So, I mean, desRow has definitely... I don't think he's super, oh my god, gonna be the next WCS champion, by any means, but he's so much better now than he was, like, 6 months ago.
Yeah, yeah, it's a steady increase, you know, as opposed to, I guess just seems to be jumping all over the place in skill. Yeah. It's always better and better, and starting to compete with the Koreans too. But we finally have some action going down. Just a very simple action, but it is going to be one Wood of Mine drop.
See if desRow reacts. Yeah, pulls immediately. A little bit scary when you pull that many probes, of course, but quick reaction to zap that out.
I don't really know about the Photon Overcharge. He was expecting, I think, a lot more to come down the natural from the medevac.
Well, I think as well, who drops one Wood of Mine, right? It's usually at least two.
Right, yeah, not the, like, maybe like in the late game because they remember, but definitely like not as their opener one Wood of Mine drop. So it's understandable, but unfortunately it is a waste.
Thank you to Fles Rudlik, by the way, for a 13-month resub. Big money, big time on that one.
Fles Rudlik.
Yeah, it's one of those European names you're just like, I am not gonna,
You gotta commit 100%. Just pick an accent and go with it.
Go big or go home. Yo, if I could do a good, I'd say if I could do like a Netherlands accent, I would do one for that name, I think.
A what accent?
Dutch, Netherlands, whatever.
Oh. Okay, so you said Neverland? I was like, oh.
If only I could sound like Peter Pan. Like, it's my life dream.
Just like,
Okay, so we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier today in the forecasting ZVZ, ironically enough. But talk about how a lot of Protoss builds kind of cater towards this like 2-base Colossus. Now desRow's not probably aiming for an all-in. The third is questionable because he doesn't have a huge abundance of probes and he's not producing more still. But if he gets enough Colossus out, he can certainly defend this and then start looking to saturate this a little bit later. But that is the problem right now, where because he's gone for faster Colossus like this, doesn't really have a lot of ground units. There's not 50 Blink Stalkers on the ground. A, splitting for drops is going to be a pain, but B, just taking any engagement could be difficult.
Yeah. Stim's about to finish up, along with all the other important upgrades. Just a sizable army. It's gonna get a cancel in the third. Maybe not. Stim's not done. They both don't want to go to each other. If desRow knew that there wasn't Stim, maybe he does try, but it would have been seconds difference. And I guess should definitely wrap around now. With Stim, he could Stim and take off a lot of health in that Nexus. He's kind of already missed something.
Yeah. Medevac does get picked off, a little bit unfortunate. I guess for us, right, the big question for Iaguz looking at his build is going to be A, does he look towards pulling SCVs at all? Because this seems to be a very common thing we've seen a lot of North American folks doing. But B, you know, is it going to be really heavy Vikings to go with or without that? I mean, there are some styles where you can play really heavy Marauder, Marines, and Widow Mines. Taiga, of course, made that work really well versus Stardust during the WCS qualifiers. But it does feel like Vikings are just sometimes the nicer, easier path to just dedicate to.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to see someone play without Vikings, you should definitely watch the SSL from last night, guys. It was pretty cool. I wanted to cry with how good he was. Anyways. Cannon gonna get instantly taken down. It bought, like, no seconds. Good job. Oh, no, please, no.
Okay, it's not gonna be so bad. My butthole was clenched for desRow on that one. Now it looks like this drop might get cleaned up, but this is, I guess, like cue to go to that third base, right? Like, he's still dealing some pretty good damage in the main, lots of focus on very little to go on. I'm surprised this force didn't just blitz in and catch these two Colossus completely off guard.
Yeah, he probably would have been able to. I mean, the force fields are there to make sure that doesn't happen, but when you're distracted, that's asking a lot, so. Another small opportunity miss. It's not like he's losing the game because of these things, but maybe he could have been really all over the place if he was a little more on it. But he's got his own 3 bases, and desRow hasn't been comfortable enough to get his gases, for instance, and in fact, his macro is slipping a little bit. He's got like a mineral with a lot of gas.
I got phonetically schooled in chat. It's Fles Rudlik.
Fles Rudlik.
Fles Rudlik.
Fles Rudlik.
Are we not saying the same thing? I don't even know. How do you? I'm deaf. I'm hearing blind.
You're also blind, according to Mass Effect.
Yeah.
We're shooting you, I don't get it.
Shut up, man. Can we not talk about that?
That's hilarious.
I wish you could have seen the stream for it. Like, it was really weird on my end. Like I would just like die. I'm like, oh.
I can imagine you looking at me freaking out because the bees were on me.
It's like, okay, you're walking next to a friend, your friend just suddenly falls over flat on his face. You're like, what happened? I don't know, some guy kicked me. Like, where?
It's fun.
Shout out to Longhorns49, by the way, also resetting the channel. Thank you for coming back. Medivacs, though. Mike gets space slammed.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, he has the supply lead still, so it's like, okay, not the worst thing in the world, but that hurts. There's no Terran player who has that happen and has a smile on their face afterwards.
It's the crazy smile, you know, the one that you're about to like kill people with.
Yeah, you've gone full Joker.
Well, I guess I don't know if he like thinks that there might be a 4th down already, or why he's like continuing to attack through here. But he runs past the middle of the map. Who needs a Donaga anyways? He hasn't gotten too many Vikings, but then again, desRow doesn't have too many Colossus. He did go up to Storm as opposed to 5 Colossus as fast as possible.
I actually kind of like this Storms. I think it's got better potential against someone like Iaguz. But we'll see if it gets the connects. If those Storms miss, it's really bad. If they can hit some of the Vikings, that's kind of cool. But ultimately, there are only 3 Colossus at the end of the day. And oh, the one behind!
It's still only 7 Vikings? Well, not with the army. They're coming now, but it's still not a lot. And the 4th Colossus, I thought, did come out. There it is.
That was a paranoid as fuck photon overcharge.
Was it, or did the mothership just finally get there? You know?
Oh, yeah. So it's either really bad and laggy, or it's really paranoid and still ultimately bad. Templar are chasing for the Storms. Almost get sniped up by the Marauders. Nice save with the Stalkers. I mean, it is a big question, right? Do you want to burn those Storms on the Vikings, or do you focus on the bio? Because either way, you're not going to devastate the entire army with them. You're just going to cripple.
Oh, I thought he was going to try and like Maru it up, but with like feedbacks already there, that would not have worked. So he's going to try and drop, but he's going to be the entire map before he gets into the main base. This has been just a really odd attack path in general for Iaguz.
desRow also going to lose that upgrade lead here in just about a second. 4 seconds, if I to be precise. Iaguz got a pretty sizable army, but I don't think you take on Storms and Colossus with this. One or the other, maybe, but getting away from this is going to lose some more of the medevacs he so desperately needs. That quad drop, though, heading towards the main. One going to stop off at the 3rd, so maybe get a cancel there, do some damage up here. Storm's going down, not feedbacks.
Oh, he wants the feedbacks.
Yeah, got one.
He gets at least one. That's still 2 medevacs alive. I mean, technically they all should have been really low out of energy, obviously. But this attack does kill the 4th. To cancel it, I'd actually check. And it's doing okay damage in the main. It's certainly buying time.
Oh, get that pylon, get that pylon. Oh!
Yeah, it's gonna be cleaned up. I guess, you know, he had such a great mid-game, but as I get into the late game, desRow seems to be really stabilizing quite well.
Yeah. I mean, catching those medevacs to start was always really nice. Those 3 medevacs that were wrapping around this side of the map, not only was that a lot of supply lost, but that was like the aggression lost. You know, I guess really had to dial it back after that and rebuild his army. And it's been a hard recovery since then. He just can't seem to find any cracks in desRow's armor. And again, this kind of just goes to desRow playing pretty damn well today. Shout out to Dog Dozer, by the way, for resummoning the channel. Half a year, welcome back.
Iaguz is on a 5th base now, so that's really good. And his upgrades are, well, not on par exactly. They're still pretty darn good. It's looking like a good late game if you look at all the stats and what everyone has, but unfortunately, I think all Terrans already have a mental block, and then you could argue about like balance later. But when it comes to really, really late game, some Terrans, they can't be good at it. They try and they're not. But desRow, he's kind of all winning now. I mean, they got 2 attacks in his main and his 3rd.
Okay, maybe it ends up being a weird base trade, right? But like the one thing I'm just so concerned about is Iaguz is taking all these fights. We still have Ghosts coming into play yet. Like an EMP on top of the Colossus, so the Vikings take less time to kill them. EMP on top of the Storms, obviously priority number 1. But I mean, I don't think this defensive force for Iaguz holds at all.
Yeah, and his attacks didn't do as much damage as I thought they would either. It looks like Iaguz is just gonna straight up lose. Okay, he does get the 3rd, but it looks kind of iffy even then.
The damage in the main was negligible at best. I mean, this is really gotten out of hand. And those Colossus there's no answer for them. Marauder's trying to get on top of this. It's just not going to happen. And unfortunately, Iaguz has got a ton of medevacs, but no units to heal with those medevacs. Lift! Nope.
Iaguz is about to have his production camped. It is game over for game number 1, and Iaguz just might not be. He's kind of like letting it sink in. He's also tired, so maybe that's also like sinking in right now too. But You know, he had such a great mid game.
Wow. You know, this is a good game. I just looked at the bets for this, though, Zombie Grub.
Is it like really heavily in Iaguz's favor?
Oh, it's 7,000 on Iaguz and less than 700 on desRow.
Oh my god, Jesus, guys.
There's nobody betting on desRow. It's 9% versus 91%. I've never seen such a difference in the numbers before. And yet desRow takes game number 1. It might make the faithful really rich today. We are going to go to a small break, though, guys. 2 minutes while we get Van Eye Research Station up. Stick with us. Again, we continue with desRow versus Iaguz after the break.